Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Tonight I got a great one for you, and it's going to be from this book, uh, Magical Use of Thought Forms. So, using your mind, back to the magic thing. Who doesn't like magic? So, this is magic in science, magic in the Maya. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining me tonight. You're all wonderful, beautiful human beings, and I am so happy to have you here tonight. And with all you supporting me and giving me thumbs up and all of that good stuff, it's helping me do more shows for you, and I hope you're enjoying them. So remember, if you got an idea for a show or something you want to learn about, I will go out and do the legwork for you and learn about it and then present it as best as I can on here. So send me an email, whatever you'd like, and I will do what I can. And so tonight we're going to talk about science in the Maya. And this is what we were talking about a few nights ago, and it's about visualizing things we see. How can what we see program our mind? Things like that. Is it true? Do we really do that? So, and with this, I'm going to share so you don't have to sit here and watch nothing. We are going to share a screen, and I am going to read from this book, and we're going to play this as we go. So I got a new setup, so this will be kind of interesting. Okay, science in the Maya. As long ago as the 19th century, Western science began to suspect that there might be something to the Buddhist doctrine that the world was Maya, illusion. The superstition arose from all things, the study of optics. Most of us assume the external world is something absolute and objective that exists outside ourselves and is the same for everyone. They believed that there really was something out there, and it was their job to weigh and measure and discrete it or dissect it. But optics raised the first small question mark. What could that be? You are aware of external reality through the action of your senses. They are your window into the world, and for the majority of people, the most important of these windows is sight. Most of us experience ourselves as living just behind the eyes and looking out into our immediate environment. However, it feels the science of optics was the first of sciences to teach that this was widespread perception is just plain wrong. Our eyes are not the window through which we observe our common reality. They are part of a system that functions in a different way entirely. We are pleased to call the objective world is visible only in the presence of light. The study of optics indicates the rays of light, as they were through the 19th century, bounces off objects around us and stimulates our eyes to form an upside down image of the object. The word image is important, for it is our first hint that we do not perceive reality directly, that we actually perceive it as a semblance of reality created by the interaction of light rays and our eyes, the object itself, and our brains, which turns the image the right way up. This doesn't sound too far removed from the direct perception, but it was enough to create a tiny worm of doubt in the minds of some scientists. And, like Permatense, after he got his Yamada, that the small worm was designed to grow and grow. It was in the early days, however, that realization had less to do with objective reality than with the fact that we all perceive objective reality somewhat differently. I experienced this phenomenon personally many years ago when I worked closely with a professional photographer. He was a talkative individual with a habit of commencing in the detail on the scenery visible through the window. When he traveled anywhere by car, it took me only a short time to realize that what he saw through the window was different from what he saw. It was some cases very different. He was aware of textures. I was not. Our color vision differed, and there was considerable variation in emphasis. See, that's the thing. Everything is emphasized different ways. We see things and perceive it from one person to another. Let's see. This is easy enough to understand when we're talking about color, and frankly, it is not terribly important. But some scientists, and indeed philosophers, whether further, was it that suggested not valid to say that all visual characteristics of an object were the result of the way the individual brains interpreted light striking in the retina. Well, that's interesting because all our retinas are different. So each one of us is going to get a different perception. Once the optical scientists realized what was happening with our visual perception, it quickly became clear that the basic insight applied equal to other senses. Although taste and smell involve the transfer of chemicals from out there, the experience of both is just as much a construction of the brain as sight. The same goes for sound, which is the brain's interpretation of action and atmosphere and vibrations on the membrane in the inner ear. A Zen Coda asks if a tree falling in the forest makes a sound when there is nobody there to hear it. Science has long answered that it does not. At the same time, 19th century science was a million miles away from accepting the Buddhist conclusion that neither the tree, the forest, nor the listener actually existed. There was, after all, still the sense of touch, which might give the distorted idea of reality, like the fable of the three blind men examining an elephant, but at least showed there must be something out there. It seems wasn't always believing, feeling, remaining God's honest truth. In the 20th century, all that was to change. That's right. Remember the story of the three men and the elephant? One man touched the trunk. He says, "Ooh, this is big and long." And the other one touched the leg, and he says, "Wow, this is like a tree stump." And the other one, he touched the tail, and he says, "Oh, it's so small, and it's just little, and yada, yada, yada." Anyway, three guys looking at the elephant. Okay, let's skip over to this. Implication of the discovery. Let's see. We can't go what they discovered until we talk about what they discovered. In the 20th century, the indication of changed in 1905 when Albert Einstein, of course, Albert Einstein of all people, then just 26 years old, published his special theory of reality or relativity. This was extended 11 years later into a much more comprehensive general theory of relativity. Between them, the theories revolutionized physics. As a side effect, they began massive changes in the way science understands reality. Two aspects of relativity theory that triggered the change were Einstein's insights into the future of time, nature of time, and its prediction of the existence of black holes. Time, like the external world, was something everybody experienced. Philosophers listened to a river carrying an inevitable form from the past to the future. It was ultimately a one-way trip, and it as a nature was something of a mystery. Einstein discovered it didn't exist. Or rather, he discovered it didn't exist in its own right or something distinct and separate. Instead, his mathematics told him that time was just an aspect of what he'd always thought of space. With this realization, he began using the term space-time or space-time continuum to indicate the space and time that could no longer be considered different things. They were actually parts of a greater unit. The implications of this discovery were as disturbing as in their own way as the earlier realization that we do not experience reality directly. They meant that one part of our experience, time, was not only indirect but correct. Everything we had always believed about time, everything we positively knew about time, was quite wrong. And so it goes on. So thanks to Albert Einstein, we know that time doesn't really exist in the way we know it. It's a man's construct. Oh, let's skip over to the end. Find yourself a quiet space and a lighted candle. Sit comfortably and stare into the candle flame. Now slowly close your eyes until a little more than slits. At some point in this process, you will find you are looking into a narrow rays of light radiating toward the candle flame. If you open your eyes a little, they will disappear. Close them a little like a slit, and the rays are back again. There's nothing physic or mystic about the perception so far. What you're experiencing is optical reflex that will always arise if you stare at the light through slitted eyes. So there you go. That's the way to play with physics. So, oh, there, my thing was all done. Oh, man. Huh. Well, we'll have to play that again. So you know where I got that. Huh. So, good one there, people. I guess I could stop sharing. Anyway, you got any ideas on physics? Think about what Albert Einstein studied. And he came up and changed a little bit of everything. Yeah, the world ain't flat no more. And now we have the space-time continuum. What does time mean to you? You know what I learned when I went on vacation is I went out into the woods and time really didn't exist except for day and night. So there was really no time at all. It was just day and night. Time just passed. And sometimes it was fast and sometimes it was slow. And it really didn't matter what day it was or what month it was. It just was time. It was day and night. I could sleep or I could be awake. It didn't really matter. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Hope you like that. I'll bring you back some more later on. And that was a good one. Give me a thumbs up. Remember to share it with everybody. And let's promote the channel a little bit more. And let's get some more people into the Soul Tribe, as we always like to do. And remember, go out there and be the frequency you want to receive. Love you all, everyone. Peace.